Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Maryland Jockey Club at Pimlico, kicking off Preakness Week with a Thursday edition of Today at the Races. I'm Dan Illman, along with the Equibase ace, Keith Fustel. We've got 9 today, sloppy and off, but great cards coming up Friday and Saturday. And I think there are some interesting betting opportunities this afternoon as well.
You're right. Some of these races definitely have changed dramatically with the change of surfaces here today. Some scratches we've got to deal with. Yeah, there's a couple sneaky little prices I'm going to toss in on this card. Hopefully we can turn it into a profitable Thursday, leading us into Black Eyed Susan tomorrow.
Just came out of the Alibi Breakfast.
Oh,
what a show
great.
That was. It was the Wayne and Bob show, roasting everybody in the room.
Yeah, you got to love that. Those guys are great year in and year out, all the stories that they give out. I just want to say congrats to Rodman, Dave Rodman, on getting the award for merit here. If anybody deserves any award at Pimlico, it is Dave. He just does a phenomenal job. Been lucky to have been around him and experiencing those calls for over 30 years. Yeah, really.
Ditto.
Good. Yeah, it's awesome. And want to also thank, Scotty Wyckoff, Michelle, you did a great job.
Great job.
Hosting, phenomenal. And Phoebe Hayes, who puts in a ton. Her whole team getting these things set up during Preakness Week. It is a difficult task, but they do it. It's just, just every year, and it's smooth, and everybody. That's why they want to come back to Pimlico.
And we have to thank the racing office as well. What a job, especially for the Black Eyed Susan and Preakness card. Jillian Tulloch, Eleanor Albert, our stakes coordinator, everybody in the racing office just doing a fantastic job, putting on a great show for Preakness 150 week. Let's take a look at our weather conditions today. Nice to see the sun out. We haven't seen much of it in the Baltimore area for the last few days. The main track is sloppy. We are off the turf, but 69 degrees, and maybe this track will start drying out a little bit.
Sitting up here, hopefully we can get a touch of a breeze as well. We're going to need that to help dry things out, but glad to see the sunshine. It's been a while.
Let's take a look at race number 1 on the card. We're going 5/8 of a mile. This race is off the turf. 16,000 down to 12.5 maiden claimers. Maryland breds eligible to run for the 20. Take out the 1, the 2, the 7, the 8, the 10, the 13, and the 14. It is the first leg of the first of 2 value pick 5 wagers we have here in Maryland. Why do we call it the value pick 5? Take a look at that takeout. Low, low, low. 12% takeout, 50-cent minimum wager. It is a great bet. You have a ticket.
Yeah, and they pay. They pay handsomely, so please get involved. And I can't wait to see what some of these things pay on Friday and Saturday. Card tomorrow. What a doozy. Get you started. Race 1, 2 deep with a 9 at T-Rose. 16 Pozo is in. Just make note of that for Ferris Allen and Yetz at Hazelwood. Race 2 with a 1, 2, and 5. Tricky little race. Scratch the 3, Golden Aurora, who's going to take some play in race number 2. Race 3, here's my single, Patty Cakes. She's pretty steady. Catches the right kind of field, I think, today on this off-turf event. Remember, race 3 at a mile and a 16th now on the main track. Race 4 with a 1 and the 6. Mary Epler trying to get it done on the front end. Race 5, wrap it up, 3, 6, 7, and 8. That's a tricky little finish to the early value pick 5. Again, 12% takeout. 50-cent minimum wager. Please get involved.
Well, let's take a look at one of your 2 selections in the early pick 5, and that is the Stranger, drawing in from the also eligible list. The first-time starter, the number 16 Pozo. Ferris Allen trains.
We're going to flip those picks, I think, but yeah, I'm going to go with Pozo. And the horses that have run in this race, I just, I haven't been super impressed, and I've got a firster here by editorial. Not a huge, sample size, but 35% with the first-time starters. They don't mind the off-track. And Dan, you see bottom side, the mare by Speightstown, one of the premier off-track stallions. Good work, a couple works back, 48 flat, kind of equaled up with 3 or 4 really good horses. So I think sneaky getting in here. Pozo might get it done. I'm expecting speed. I'm hoping speed.
This horse was bought back for $12,000 as a yearling. The damn one going 5 furlongs on the dirt. What I like about, I've always tried to make editorial as a good stallion, and he does have very good statistics, not only with first-time starters and with wet track runners. He's a half to Uncle Mo. You would think that maybe he could be a really nice stallion. So the 16 is your top selection in this race. My top pick is going to be the number 14. That is Intel Agent. Of course, with proven wet track form. We haven't seen this horse in a while. Intel Agent was wired the last time we did see him. He tried to make a 4-wide bid into the race on the far turn, then he flattened out just a bit. Not a lot of upside after 16 lifetime starts, but at least he does have that proven wet track ability.
Has been over this racetrack with a buyer that would probably work against this group. I think T Rose is a must use, I should say. Tommy McMahon in here. Here's a trainer. He doesn't run a lot of horses, but you really have to pay attention. I've got him. We've got a stat for T Rose. I think it's off the trainer switch here. Look at this.
4 for the last 10, 40%, a $4.50 return on investment. And T Rose is a horse that while she has run well on turf, she has that one race on dirt back in October of 2023 was pretty good. Now I had that race down as a really strong rail bias, and she rode the rail in the stretch, but she finished up nicely, galloped out, and again, this is a strong trainer statistic.
And you look at the field who she ran against that day. Bondiva, Golden Charm. These are fillies that have gone on to do okay in the allowance ranks. T Rose, I think, is a definite user here in the opener, just off of it.
I think the 4 La Sassenach is a very, very dangerous player off the Rudy Sanchez Solomon claim. I thought this horse ran pretty well 2 starts back when wired going 3/4 of a mile. They tried to stretch her out to a mile last time out. She broke well, was kind of rated back to track 3 wide, and then just tired pretty badly. I think off the Rudy claim and maybe getting to a wet track will help.
That might help. She's had that chasing mode and a little flattening those 2 other races. She had dead aim in 2 of those tries. The 2 back and 3 back just didn't get it done. I think she's going to be in chase mode again. Let's see if she can sustain.
Keith's going with the firster. Pozo on the outside. 16-9, 14-4. Maybe Intel Agent on a wet track for me. 14-16, 9-4 in the opener at Pimlico. Let's move on to race number 2. Race number 2's at a mile and a 16th. It's for 3-year-old fillies. Claiming price 20 down to 16. Take out the 3. Golden Aurora. This is the first leg of the first of 3 pick 4 wagers on the afternoon. 50-cent minimum. Every story has a beginning, a middle, and an end. We've got them with our pick 4 wagers. This is the beginning. The pick 4s have been paying well recently, but a lot of folks are going to be singling the 5. Antonacci Girl.
Yeah, Antonacci Girl. We've got a video spotlight. This is a horse. She comes into this race with 2 wins in a row. We're going to go over to Mahoning Valley, where Anthony Ferry, when he goes into Ohio, he hits at a pretty big rate. He's doing well right now, and this is this type of filly you're looking at this race at a mile and a 16th. She just wants the added ground. Is she super fast? No, but she knows how to win. This is the right spot, too, when you're kind of looking at her recent buyer figures, lower to mid-40s. Could work here. I think, believe it or not, I think this is a couple of these horses in here a little bit better than what maybe she faced out there.
But the angles are obvious.
Yeah.
She really seemed to improve stretching out, and she has really taken her game to the next level since she set foot on a wet racetrack, which she is going to get here. Both of the recent wins have come on wet. She's geared down under the wire, and she's going to be very, very dangerous. And look at Farrier. Last out winners, 8 for the last 22, 36%, a $2.30 return on investment. You're going to try to upset this one with First Pearl, who kind of got involved in a little bit of a speed duel last time out, and maybe in this short field won't have to work as hard to get to the front.
It was part of that day on October the 12th. Down inside, we know that was not the place to be on the 12th of April at Laurel Park. I thought it was okay, for a while, got off the inside, just a fade. It was just too much, too soon for First Pearl. I think today she kind of I think she pops to the front against this group.
The key for me is distance for her. She's going to have to prove it at a mile and a 16th, but breaking from this inside post, she's going to be able to get to the front and save some ground going into the first turn. She's interesting. I do think Fitness, another horse stretching out in distances, can get close to the pace for Henry Walters. This horse, the last time she ran a mile and a 16th, she kind of mid-moved, maybe a little bit early before finishing 3rd behind a sharp horse in Trace Aries. She's proven at a mile. I don't mind Fitness, really, going back out to this distance. I think she can sit off First Pearl, maybe get the jump on Antonacci Girl and try to hold him off.
Yeah, I think those two are going to try to separate from Antonacci Girl and hopefully keep going from the quarter pole. They made that kind of move in tandem last time, or 2 races back, March 29th. But Paco Lopez, right, aboard Fitness, just going to kill the price a little bit.
1-5, 2-4 for Keith, 2-5, 1-4 for me in race number 2. Race number 3 is off the turf. We are going a mile and a 16th now.
Yes.
This is a starter optional claiming race for fillies and mares 3-year-olds and up. Take out the 2, the 3, the 5, the 7, and the 10. Michael Sanchez aboard the number 8, Chez Soleil. This is the first leg of our middle 50-cent pick 4 wager. Again, we offer early, middle, and late today at Pimlico. Kind of an interesting race with the scratches. Patty Cakes, the number 6, I think is going to be very, very dangerous. And we have a video spotlight on this Jamie Nest train runner.
Yeah, last time out over at Laurel Park, a little bobble out of the gate there and had to break from the inside post. And you've heard us talk about it quite a bit. Inside at a mile, you kind of give up a little bit in those first couple yards. You've got to be tied on with a good break. She unfortunately bobbles, has to move up into the flow. Now, it wasn't terribly demanding, 24 and 4, 49 and 2. All in all, she's got some guts, makes this challenge to the inside. I thought she was a winner right here. But Waterloo rose at a little bit of a price, right? Gets it done. But I think right back against this group. She was okay on the turf. I think she moves way up now with this race, going to the main track at a mile and a 16th. Looking again at the pace. She's going to be forward with any kind of break. Short price I'm going to take here for the 6. Patty Cakes.
I agree with you. For the most part, I had mixed feelings over that race. She did sort of bobble and stumble at the start and then rush up. But the pace, as you mentioned, was moderate, and it was won by a big price. That being said, this just seems like the right spot. Off the turf, scratch-reduced race. She's one of the major pace players. Audibly is in here, and this is a horse that I thought was the only one making up any kind of ground last time out in a slow-paced race going a one-turn mile. Now, maybe this horse will simply get stuck in that similar situation, a race with no pace. I'd like to see Paco get a little bit aggressive here and get closer. I think she has it in her.
She might just get up a little bit closer. She's going to have to, kind of jumping out of conditions here. Has only won 2 races lifetime, going against a horse like Patty Cakes, who's won 7. But she's a stayer in this group too. I think even if he hustles early, she'll just kind of grind it out. But she might have some ground to make up from the quarter pole home.
Trainer Kieran McGee has had a great amount of success off of the claim, and he's took Don't Tell Darren, the number 4, out of her most recent start. Now, Don't Tell Darren is a proven commodity on a wet track, winning 2 starts back in the mud and showing good tactical speed in doing so. She's probably best known for her work on turf. She won one of the Maryland Million starter races back in 2023. But McGee off the claim is always something you have to consider here in Maryland.
Absolutely. I think this one's got to be used, getting in light. That was a good race. A couple races back, just kind of airmailing that field. I think she's going to be fresh. I think she's going to be forward. And is she going to need one to just finish up with Patty Cakes? We're going to find out.
And maybe we're just overlooking the obvious. There was only one horse in this race entered for the main track, and that is La Chica for Tequila on the outside. She's going to need a little bit of pace age. She is a one-run closer, but she is a horse that has proven dirt form, and that goes a long way in a race like this.
Oh, it does. It does, right. A couple okay tries on and off track. She has no speed. She is going to need Patty Cakes and Don't Tell Darren to get involved early and that duel to continue.
Same superfecta for us in race number 3, 6, 1, 4, and 11. Race number 4 is going 3/4 of a mile. It's a maiden claimer for fillies and mares, 16 down to 12.5. Maryland breds have the option to run for 20. Take out the 3, Great Moon. Take out the 5, Irish Be Good. The horse they're all going to have to perhaps catch and beat is the number 1, Paperback Edition. And we have a video spotlight for Paperback Edition right after we talk about the 20-cent Chesapeake Pick 6 jackpot wager. Pick the first place finisher in the final 6 races on the Pimlico card. If you're the only one, you take down the entire pool. Let's watch now Paperback Edition. She's fast. She's still seeking her first win, however, after 10 starts.
Yeah, she's had 10 starts, but she's tried on quite a few occasions. Reunited with the X-Man today, and this particular afternoon is up with the pace, battling. Unfortunately, kind of gives up some ground mid-stretch, but I like the re-rally that Paperback Edition's gonna bring. You're gonna see She's a Gem 3 wide going ahead and making this move. She's a Gem comes back to win. But look at this effort here. Coming back is Paperback Edition. Now we're going out an extra 16th of a mile today. Again, she looks like the speed, short field here. Maybe Spirit and Truth with the blinkers on can show a little bit more lick, but Mary Epler, one that's very familiar with the winner's circle at Pimlico, stayed with here for a lot of years, teaming up with Xavier Perez. We talked about Robin getting that award earlier. He was discussing the ride with the that X-Man game on Spicer Cup back in the day. That was something else. Go to YouTube if you haven't seen it. Mary Epler, the X-Man, trying to get there.
Yeah, and she's a gem. The horse that beat her last time, you mentioned, came back to win a dime non-winners at 2 Life, got a 51 buyer speed figure. I think she's entered later today and is going to be real tough as a main track only. Paperback Edition to me doesn't have a tremendous burst, but she's quick out of the gate. X-Man's an excellent gate rider, and Paperback Edition might simply take them all the way. I've been chasing Spirit and Truth for a long time, and maybe it's just gotten to the point where I'm making a mistake going back, but she's going to get blinkers for the first time in this race. Last time out, I thought she's had a really good trip tracking a 4-ply pace battle all by herself. It looked like a perfect spot. She dropped inside, and she really only finished evenly in between horses. Maybe the blinkers will wake up Spirit and Truth. Breaking from the outside, I need her to go after Paperback Edition early. Let's turn this 4-horse field into a match race. And listen, if the 2 and the 4 get me, they get me.
Yeah, they get you. They get you for sure. But Spirit and Truth, the blinkers on. Hard spun on an off track. I mean, that could certainly work as well. Some changes here for this Donnie Barr trainer. You're right. Weston, I think, is going to go on the attack. You don't want to see X-Man clearing that opening quarter, walking in 23 and change.
You got Lorraine's Way in here, and if you just take a look at Lorraine's Way's form and you want to say, throw out the Timonium race, maybe she doesn't care for the bull ring, throw out the turf races, you've got some decent running lines on dirt. I know the buyer speed figures are light, but she did actually hit the board at a mile and a 16th race back on March the 16th at Laurel. I do think she needs to step forward.
I do, definitely. I mean, you're looking on buyer scale, 8 or 10 points at least. We'll see.
1642 for Keith, 6142 for me in race number 4. 4 down, 5 to go. We're going to take a break. When we come back, the late value pick 5.
Baltimore! To the city of Baltimore, to all the fans watching around the world, riders up!
They're off in the Preakness.
All eyes of the world will be on Baltimore.
They're head and head. Seabiscuit leads by a length. Seabiscuit is the winner.
And it was a powerhouse race again by the big, strong Secretariat.
Sunday Silence takes the lead at the quarter pole.
American Pharaoh, phenomenal in the Preakness. And the filly did it! Rachel Alexandra! Here is Smarty Jones. He wins the Preakness by a dozen lengths. She's the brave, wins the Preakness.
Welcome back to Today at the Races. I'm Dan. He's Keith. The track is sloppy, but the sun is out, and we're at the track, so life couldn't be any better.
Where else would you want to be? I'm telling you, this is going to be a good day. We're looking forward to it. And the whole weekend, Preakness 150 here at Old Hilltop.
We're off the turf for race number 5. We're going a mile and an eighth. It's now winners at 2 Life for fillies and mares. The claiming price is 25 down to 20. Take out the 1, the 4, the 5, and the 9 through the 11. This is the first leg of our second value pick 5 of the afternoon. Low takeout, 12%. Our colleague and friend Mackenzie Pfeiffer has a ticket, and she's singling right away.
Right off the bat with Trombetta there. The 8, it's factual. Georgie Ruiz going to get the ride here today in race 5. I kind of like my dear Antonio. Who'd you like in here, Dan?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the 6. So, 2 deep in race 6 for Mac with the 3 and the 4. Brittany Russell, the first of their Maida, race number 7. A little bit of a spread here. 1, 2, 9, and 12. Again, race 7 off the turf at a mile and a 16th on the main track. Race 8, 1 and 5. Cyber Time, an awfully short price coming off some big runs out in Ohio. We'll see if he can bring that form back to Pimlico. Wrap it up. Race number 9 with the 1, 5, and 8, and 9. We talked about She's a Gem. Gets in, was entered main track only. Gets that today. It's a $32 late value pick 5 with 12% low takeout.
Well, let's start off with your top selection in this race. That's the 6, My Dear Antonia. My Dear Antonia is very consistent.
Yeah, I just look at who she ran against 2 races back. Blessed Candy, Golden Filly, who came back. We've seen you, McMahon. We got a couple this weekend, I think, going second off the claim, turf to dirt, working some different angles distance-wise. The Eternals at Colonial, that track can play very fast. But still, that works for me. 46 and 2, you kind of carry it out there for the half. Gets to the front today. I think, again, yes, it's got to be aggressive against this group. I don't think anybody has any true quality speed. I like to see this one get to the front and just take it all the way.
Yeah, also kind of tracking 4 wide in the early stages in that Colonial race might have worked against her. Off the claim, they tried a route with her. I thought she ran okay, actually. She kind of was in a little bit tight in between horses at the end of that race.
Yeah.
We'll see. A mile and an eighth is a big question mark for most of these horses. It's going to be a question for my dear Antonio. It's going to be a question for my top pick, the number 3, Ballroom Eyes, who did go gate to wire at Penn National in a weaker maiden claimer 3 starts back. I was a little disappointed with the race at this level, 2 back. That was what worries me. Last time out, she's in against the boys at Penn National. She misses the break. It was a track where if you look at the charts, it just seemed to be favoring speed, and she ran on a little bit at the end. I think if she breaks, she can get close to the pace. We'll see how far she wants to go and if she's up to this class level.
Back with the girls today. And my dear Antonio, talking about Hugh McMahon, he did this the other day with Secret Treasure, I believe. Might have been a second off the claim surface switch. So, yeah, I like this 6 a lot in race 5.
It's Satisfactual is going to handle the distance, and that could be really key in this race.
Yeah.
A mile and an eighth, that's max single in her pick 5. This is a horse that's raced on turf. She's raced on synthetic. She's only raced once on dirt, and while the running line may not look great, she got beat 10 lengths that day. It's worth noting that the winner of that race at Horseshoe Indianapolis was 1 to 10.
Okay.
She was supposed to win and is probably better than what It's Satisfactual has been facing or could be facing in this race. I'm not sure how much upside is there, but she's a very logical horse.
No, it definitely fits in here. The feisty one again from the inside might try to go ahead and go. That's a horse I'm going to be concerned about. It might put a little pressure on my dear Antonio. If so, I think gets it against, you made a great point, out wide at Colonial. Might be able to sit that tracking trip if needed.
Tell me a little bit about Buzzaway real quick, second
Buzzaway.
off the layoff.
Buzzaway. I don't really look at Buzzaway much, but it's first Lasix, first blinkers, dirt. That's the key. Looking at that combination, and you're looking at the bottom side, 7-time winner. So there is dirt form there for Buzzaway. Horacio De Paz, he had a win the other day, right? Toledo on the
Certainly
turf.
did.
Came up
Right
the
up the
rail
inside.
at a nice price. So, yeah, Buzzaway will be underneath.
But Keith
possible.
really likes, it seems, the 6, my
I
dear
do.
Antonia, 6, 3, 7, and 8. Maybe Ballroom Eyes can revert to her Penn National winning form, 3, 8, 6, and 2. We'll move on to race number 6. It is a maiden special weight where 3-year-old fillies going 3/4 of a mile. Take out the 2 Fabia. Brittany Russell has the 2 major players in this race, the 3 Belle of the Wood, the 4 Maida. This is the first leg of our late pick 4 wager. If you happen to get knocked out of the late pick 5, and we surely hope you don't, get involved in the final pick 4 wager of the afternoon. I want to start things off with the first-time starter, by Improbable, bred for speed, both sides.
And you look at the bottom side, the mare, 1 debut, won 4 of the first 5, topped at a 99 speed figure. Interesting enough that one of the siblings by Good Magic that I think Brittany had that didn't take any play in a debut run on the go back. But Sheldon goes here, might be a little bit of a tell. That's kind of where I'm going. Belle of the Wood. Can't take anything away from that effort. That was a pretty strong run down at Colonial.
Let's take a look at that
Yeah.
Belle of the Wood race. It's a career debut at Colonial back on the Ides of March, and she broke out a little bit from the far outside post. A lot of first-time starters will do that. She recovered pretty quickly to prompt the pace 3 wide, and she tries hard. And what I like about this race is, while she finishes second, this is a 5-horse field. 4 of these horses, including Belle of the Wood, are first-time starters. The winner had a huge experience edge by having 1 race. Belle of the Wood, I think, really is going to benefit this time around being the experienced horse against the stablemate.
Yeah, and this is a Brad Cox trainee that gets it done at Colonial. Came back to run big in a Prairie Meadows stake.
Say the Goldfinch at Prairie Meadows. That horse came back to run second, got an 85 Beyer speed figure.
Yeah.
So to me, that legitimizes Belle of the Wood's 72 Beyer speed figure. And I think if she can run that kind of fig, the first-time starter might have to have him nailed on pretty tight. That being said, the number 6, Meg's Foxy Gray, ran really well at Oaklawn, going 2 turns last time out. And we have a trainer stat for Greg Compton. Greg, between April the 26th and May the 8th, has only run 14 horses, but 3 wins, a $2.52 ROI. The barn is going well. Now, cutting back in distance, you always have to worry. Is this horse going to get outrun in the early portion of the race? But I didn't think she had a great trip last time out and ran really well.
No, and she showed she's going to be able to make, I think, a pretty sharp move. When Paco decides, that's going to be his decision. But I do think it's in there for Meg's Foxy Gray. And again, any kind of duel develops up front, this horse will definitely strike. Got a good trip. Worked out an okay trip, I should say, last time after a slow break. Little traffic, finished up well enough for me. I think she certainly plays in here.
You're going with the Brittany first, or I'm going with the Brittany Experience Tours. 3615 for me, 4, 3, 6, and 1 for Keith in race number 6. Race number 7 is off the turf. We're going a mile and a 16th. Maiden Claimers, 25 down to 20. Maryland Breds can enter for the 30. Scratch the 4, the 6, the 7, the 11, the 14, and the 15.
Okay.
Let's start with our top selection in this race, one of the MTOs, the 9, Tell 'em I'm Comin'. Another horse that maybe doesn't have a ton of upside. Heck, he's already run 20 times. But I thought the last dirt race was pretty good.
That's
Not
what
only was it a 65 buyer, but off slow rush.
I'm keying that. Yeah, off slow, a little rail bit, almost a couple different moves. This horse did not want to go away. Tell him I'm coming. Foggy due out of that race to run a 71 and a state bred. I thought that was a good effort. I don't know why they go back to the turf last time out. Couldn't be found. I think coming back today and looking at the field will be forward enough. You might have a horse like Latin Rebel go, but RJ, I think, has got some speed. I think this horse with any kind of break can get early position, make a move, say around the 3/8, and keep going, sustain against this group.
Brighty breaks from the inside post. This horse has good dirt form. Last time out going 7/8, just really got knocked around at the start, and the next thing you know is far, far back. I really like that you came with a good, strong, consistent run at the end to finish second behind a horse, White Series, who came right back to win.
Well, I'm Milosevic. This horse has been running pretty well, pretty steadily over the last few months, and this horse ran so big last time out. Shut off at the break and rolled that last 3/16 of a mile. Freshened up, but a good work. User for me from off of it.
And the race 3 starts back on dirt, I think, is a lot better than it looks on paper.
People
I've
stay-
got that horse 4 wide all the way around the track that day and was pretty game to stay in there and finish 4th against a good field. That was a key race. The 12 is Armed and Dangerous, and this is a horse returning to the main track. Got a little bit antsy before the start on dirt, 2 starts back, but then showed good tactical speed, ran the best buyer speed figure of his career, and this is another barn that's going very, very well.
Ricky's horses have been running very well. You're right. Reluctant load 3 wide, kind of against the grain a little bit for our notes on April the 6th at Laurel Park.
Same triple for us in here.
Wow,
9,
okay.
1, and 12. You got the 5 for the soup. I got the 13, the Firster Earl of Godiva in race number 7. Time for the late daily double. Race number 8, we're going 3/4 of a mile. This is a starter optional for 3-year-olds and up. Field of 6 in here, and there's going to be a heavy favorite in here. That's going to be the number 1, Cyber Time. Cyber Time seeking his 4th consecutive victory, and he's earned some pretty gaudy buyer speed figures. We have a video spotlight for Cyber Time.
Yeah, again, Mahoning Valley. We haven't seen as many videos from Mahoning Valley. I don't think ever. Combined, we got them all today. But Cyber Time, yes, stalks this pace. Like the comment, full of run and going away. Just measures the leader coming to the quarter pole and just kind of rolls away from this field. I don't know if I completely trust the last 2 buyers, 95 and 86, kind of going back and looking at this group. They're glaring, though, and we're going to go elsewhere, which is definitely going to help our prices. This horse is going to take play off of those, but he hasn't shown this type, of kick in Maryland. He might come back to it. We'll see, but I go elsewhere.
I'm going to take a little bit of a chance against, although let's be honest, if those buyer speed figures are legitimate, they're all running for second and are running a long way behind in second, behind Cyber Time. Let's talk about 5 Dreams in here, because we also have a trainer stat for 5 Dreams. Tim Kreiser, first after the claim. This is a very good number. 17 for the last 45. That's 38%, a 271 ROI. Now, 5 Dreams did benefit from a class drop last time out. Found the right field at 7-1. But what I liked about it was this horse was a little bit eager, pulling in the opening stages, was taken back and eventually relaxed and then got the job done. I think this 10-time winner might be coming back to his best form, and he's got some back class. He was second in the De Francis last year.
A definite confidence builder. Pudge Boy Palace. I want to try, in those lines. I think 5 Dreams is really, really live today. Loves it off track. 5 for 15, 11 of 15 in the money. And to add to the Kreiser stat, last 5 years in Maryland on the main track, 3 for 7 off the claim with an ROI of 357. Did with what? Sheriff Ronnie, Bick. And you talked about last time, a little bit of a step down from those allowance races, but take another B. West, a horse that was in pretty good form. Bick, who's fast. I think he's going to have to deal with Back in the Woods a little bit, your top selection. But if these two can kind of just go out there clear and not go crazy, I think they stretch it.
Kind of a similar situation with Back in the Woods, a horse claimed out of his most recent start with some back class. We have a trainer stack for Jose Corrales, Back in the Woods, first after the claim. This is a reclaim for Jose. 7 for the last 31, 23%, a 386 ROI.
Yeah.
This horse, I think, just needed the race last time out. Hadn't run since September. Think gained a lot from a fitness standpoint. I'm very curious to see what he does for this barn second back off of the layoff.
Yeah, the real question mark horse for me there is Laddie Dance. And, you know, Bobby and Leaf horses, they've had a propensity to jump up and run huge. Ran very big behind quick tempo. That lone speed that day came closing, 3 starts back. The next time out, a legitimate excuse, check. Now surface switch back. He could get a good stalking trip. If this outside looks like it's playing well, Laddie Dance is a user for me for sure.
Cyber Time, though, is the horse to beat, the number 1. We'll take slight little stabs. Keith's going 5-3-1-6. I'm going 3-5-1-2. Let's round things out with race number 9 on Thursday. 5/8. This is on the main track. Claiming race for fillies and mares, 16 down to 12-5. Take out the 4, Glossamer. Take out the 12, Nuwanda. The number 2, Bossy Kate, will be ridden by Angel Cruz. I think you might be onto something, and maybe I made a mistake in here by not having your top pick in there, because I'm a big fan of Maddie 10. I really liked Maddie 10 last time out, and I probably should have given her a lot more credit because the trip didn't work out.
No, and we've got the right kind of rider today in Forest Boyce. Reassess, staying in, I think, adds to the flow of this. She's a gem, certainly going to be forward, but I think Forrest is going to fit this horse like a glove. Got really discombobulated early, checked early, 4 to 6 wide last time out. Just survive the opening furlong, and I know I'm going to trust in Forrest to get position, let that flow develop. And I think she brings a finisher. I like her better. I had a little tendency to flatten in some of those further races. 5/8 just might work.
Guadalupe Preciado has had a lot of luck in Maryland over the years, and he's going to send Reassess back here, going synthetic now to dirt. I think this horse might have run against just a little bit better down at Gulfstream on the Tapeta last time out. Was kind of urged along in between horses, but did show enough speed in that 5 furlong race to make me think that this one can stay close to the pace. I'm just going to gamble that this horse is going to be okay on the dirt.
Yeah, she's going to keep him honest for sure, and she's a gem. Has
Oh,
put
yeah.
up 2 races in a row, back-to-back wins. I didn't see that race coming last time. Took a little bit more play than I thought she would get as well, and Sergio Fabro's gotten along with this one perfectly.
Jumped up 16 buyer
Yeah,
speed figure
huge.
points on the wet track, and that could be a big, big key. And Sarah is really good with speed horses. She knows how to nurse a horse on the lead. She's aggressive. She's a gem, a player. Entered main track only. Let's talk about Bossy Kate real quick. I put this horse in the mix. The last time Bossy Kate won a race was at Parks, and I had it as one of the most intensely speed-favoring days at Parks that day, and she just went right to the top at 6-1 and 1, and since then nothing's really gone right for her. But her race 2 starts back going 7. She got hooked up in a duel against a pretty solid enough field. I'm not interested in the last turf race. Maybe in this off-turf heat she can pick up some pieces at a big number.
I think she's going to have to not miss a beat out of the gate. She's going to do her best work up front. She's going to have some other speed horses to deal with. We'll see. She's going to have to bounce back on the go-go back to get to some of that form if she's going to beat this field.
Keith's going 5, 8, 1, and 9. I'm going 1, 8, 2, and 6 in the nightcap at Laurel Park. Best play time for the day. Where you at?
We go to race 8. Number 5 Dreams, 4-1 on the morning line. I think we can get that because we got the help of Cyber Time with those big gaudy numbers. Loves it off track, this 5 Dreams. We talked about the stat off the claim and the stat here at Pimlico off the claim for trainer Tim Kreiser. I like this one. Well positioned outside. We'll be forward a long, long way, if not all the way.
I'm earlier in the card. Race number 2, that's the number 2, Fitness. I think stretching back out in distance is going to help this horse. Another horse that's going to have to handle that Mahoning shipper from Farrier at a short price, Antonacci Girl. But I like stretching out with good tactical speed to get the jump on the chalk. 30 minutes to post for race number 1 here at Pimlico on nice Thursday, even with the sloppy conditions and off the turf. Dave Rodman, Mackenzie Pfeiffer, Callie Francois, they'll take you through the day's action. And let's go up to award winner Dave Rodman at the top of the stands for scratches and changes.
All righty. Good luck, everybody.